Hi, I love that you asked me all these questions about how this works. Most people don't. Um, so, a lot goes on behind the scenes before I even start the reading. I am going to do a reading for another person connecting to their loved ones. So, I choose decks, especially these two, and that changes. Whatever I'm led to pick for that person, that's the ones I use. I trust my intuition about it. These two stay the same. These are called the Energy and Spirit cards, Oracle cards. This is an old time type of cards. Not, personally, I don't know of anybody right now that uses them. They're called I always say this wrong, Lenormand. People will say, "Oh, those were used by witches," but whatever. So, what goes on behind the scenes before I even start your reading for your loved one is I shuffle these for a very long time. Each deck individually, and then I get my mind straight. I turn off every single noisy thing in the house and anything that could possibly distract me. So I know it sounds really weird to, like, how do you let them choose? One, I call them to me. That's why I like to know their name. I say, your name, so-and-so, is wanting to connect with you. She wants me to talk to you, ask you these questions. And usually within 30 seconds or so, there's a whole feeling that goes through my chest. And I know this sounds really weird, but this is the process. And it's the same feeling every single time. I know I ask them to come into my presence. I ask them, they're welcome in my home. That's the only way any people that have passed over can come into my home, because, good Lord, before I stopped that, they were just in my house. It was craziness. Anyway, that was like waking up and seeing the spirit right next to you, standing staring at you. I'm like, that's enough of that. Okay, so sorry, I digressed there. So when I call your loved one to me, I know I know when they are here. I talk out loud to them. That's out of respect for them. I don't have to. I tell them, like, she wants to know this. What do you have for her? This and that. And so it was kind of funny when you asked, how do I allow them to choose? I pick all three of these. This is your normal tarot. This is all my clarifying cards that can give me a much more detailed look into what they're saying. Now they play a part in this, and I realize that if anyone was outside that had never had any dealings with a medium would think, these people have lost their minds. But yes, I tell them, the floor is yours. You get to choose these. And I honestly, I just trust and know that they're going to choose them. I only pick three. I shuffle. Sometimes and this is going to sound weird, but I'll explain it here in depth. A lot of mediums will do a shuffling. It's like this, right? And meanwhile, you're saying out loud, some do, some don't, but I'll be like, okay, Ron, the floor is yours. You tell me whatever you want to tell me. This is about you and her, and just whatever, however you want to tell your story. A lot of times I'll be shuffling, and literally, and I've gotten this on my camera many times. The cards will actually, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. So they will come out, and I already saw one of the cards. Okay, so once I connect to a spirit, it's very easy for me to reconnect with them. Extremely easy. Sometimes I can feel them, since I've invited them into my presence, sometimes I will feel that feeling, and I know who it is, right? We're sitting here talking about him, right? What do you think the first card is? That I just randomly went out, got out of the card. You want to see? Death. Yep. There's Ron. There he is. I swear, he makes me laugh. Oh my goodness. And it's a knowing within me. If, say, 3 or 4 cards, or I picked manually a card. They don't always do that. If I manually pick a card, sometimes my timing is off, and I'll pick a card, and I instantly know it's not right. I put it back. These 2 other ones. Now, this one, we're talking about spirits here, right? So that one could do with it, but see, that's, people don't, they have a hard time getting this. That's just kind of, it kind of amazes me sometimes when this kind of stuff will happen. Sometimes I realize I have to stop and think, and it's kind of amazing to have the gifts that I have. But isn't that amazing? That was the first card he picked before. And I'm like, okay, very funny. I know. And I could. Now, here's the other thing. When, like I said, I talk to them out loud, I don't have to. These, I'm seeing scenarios in my head. And this is the part it's really hard for me to put into words. I just accept it for what it is. Some of it is an instant knowing. I know what he's saying. I know what he's feeling. I know the sentences, the full sentences that he's saying. And it's all going on in my head. It's very draining when I'm finished with a reading, or I invite a loved one in that's passed away, and normally I'll have a headache when it's all said and done. But that's just part of it. It's hard on my individual energy. I'll feel drained. But yeah. I talk out loud because I'm a human being and I'm live, and that's what comes natural to me. But sometimes if I'm shuffling the deck, it could be going on in my head as I'm doing this. There's something that a lot of people don't know. Yep, I'm leaving Ron right here because we're talking about him. I love his sense of humor. Anyone can learn how to read a tarot card. These are the typical tarot cards. A lot of them are like this. They have keywords all over them. This is some of my first tarot decks I got. Anyone can learn to shuffle, to ask the question, and learn what each card means. Some people are completely legit. There's that gift of they are a tarot reader. Mine is a little different. I was born the way I am right now. I ran from this for many years because of my upbringing. But it's a knowing with me. I want to say it's not a second nature, it's first nature. I know. There's full-on conversations going. And it's not, this is the part about being a medium. A medium is somebody who can connect with people that have passed away and talk to them. Freak some people out. Like I said, I've been able to see spirits. I can hear them. Where that doesn't happen as much. I've had them bug me at work. I can feel that feeling in my chest. I know there's a spirit nearby. And I've even had one of them whisper in my ear my name. And I went, okay, that's enough. I'm at work. I'm trying to work here. I'm in management. You can't be bugging me at work. So, I've even had, and I knew instantly it was my grandmother. Throughout the years, she comes to me. And it's only for a split second, and I can feel her run her hand down the back of my head, on my hair. It's very soothing. It's a very gentle, loving thing. But there was a whole thing. And sometimes when I'm doing the reading and I'm taking notes, I always have my card. My card's ready. I'm taking notes over here. Like, I took notes of your questions, right? And it's just a knowing. It goes on in my head. It's a whole series of different things, all connecting the dots. And I don't understand it all. I don't understand how every single thing works. I've just always been like this. So if you have any additional questions, I just thought it was wonderful that you asked these clarifying things. And when I told him he could pick his cards, right? The first three. And I'm shuffling. And the three came out. And as soon as they came out and laid him down, that's when I'm hearing him clear as day in my head. Who are you? And I'm like, okay, I'm Wendy. Okay, why am I here? I'm like, okay, sorry to bother you, but I talk to them like real people because they are. They have the same thoughts, feelings as us. And he was like, who are you? What do you want? And I asked him, I said, hey, I let him know. Your wife wanted me to do a reading. And he got a little indignant. And he was like, what do you know about me and my wife? It was quite, he was funny. And then, so he took control right at first. And I knew he was not going to let me go on with that reading until I answered his questions. I don't even remember all the questions because they were just coming at me so fast. And I was trying to answer so that he would feel comfortable and know that this is a safe spot here. This is a safe place. I said, okay, this is between me, you, and your wife. Nobody else. We're ready to start. Tell me your story. You tell me your feelings, what you're thinking, what you want her to know. You are in charge here. And I just go with it. And they do. They tell me their story. Yours was a beautiful one. Not all are. Some are incredibly sad. And those are very, very hard on me. Because I am an empath also, which helps me, I believe, to connect and be able to connect to somebody who has passed over. I feel their emotions, their sorrow, their joy, their happiness, their regret. And I did think of something. You said about the forgiveness. Sometimes it's after the fact, and I'll remember something. And I always feel bad for not remembering the first time. What he had told me about that forgiveness card, and I apologize, I did forget to tell you, was you may not have always even known that within him, he sometimes, if he had a hard day, if something was going on, there was a lot of distractions or whatever it was, you wouldn't even have known that he just kind of went, oh, I just don't feel like doing it right now, you know. So that part, I did feel bad when I remembered that late last night. So yeah, that's what he meant by that. He felt bad, even though you never knew those times, even if they were far and few between. And I thought it was incredibly sweet and loving of him to want to tell you that, because they don't have to. He loves you. Like I said, it was just a beautiful reading of him and you. Not, like I said, not all of them are, but I know on some things I didn't make a lot of sense in this video, because some things are even unknown to me. So, by the way, I am going to see if I can upload to our chat, not on the website, but through Messenger, if I can upload your reading. Okay, I'm hoping I'm able to do that. I've never done that before. At least I don't think I have. And hopefully it will upload in full, and hopefully it's not too big of a size for me to do that. So anyway, thank you again for asking these questions. And Ron, thank you for being here. I think that was incredibly sweet that he made his presence known. And by the way, I've done 2 of these since reading him. So for this to come out like it did, none of the other ones, I'd already shuffled these for the reading that I'm going to do for somebody that wants to connect with their loved one. I had already shuffled these. So I think it's incredibly special that Ron came out. Even, we're talking about him and boom, there he is. I didn't even plan on showing you the shuffle or anything, so I'm glad I did. So anyway, you have a blessed night. Thank you. And if you, in the future, if you want to have another one, like you said, just let me know. All right? Thanks.